Hey everyone, thanks a lot for tuning in. I know it's been a while. I'm happy to be back checking out some guitars with you. Definitely has been a crazy summer, as you can imagine. But today we have a cool guitar to check out. This is Squier's limited edition Bullet Telecaster in red sparkle. So 100% I picked up this guitar specifically for the finish. You can't go wrong with a guitar that looks like this. It's pretty cool. As one reviewer put it, looks like a 50s diner, and I think that's a pretty good analogy for this guitar. So needless to say, it does have a happy home, and I have some pretty cool things planned for it in the future. And actually, if you stick around until the end of the video, we'll talk about some of those plans, and I could use some of your suggestions as well. Doesn't hurt to have some community input into changes made to a guitar like this. But for now, let's check out the guitar. We'll talk about specs in general, and then listen to it just in its bone stock state. Now, starting up at the headstock, you have your classic Telecaster shape with the labeling. Of course, your serial number and everything on the back. These are crafted in Indonesia. You have a set of 6 inline die-cast sealed tuners. Pretty standard on a guitar like this, and they work just fine, hold tune. And you have a regular string tree. Thickness of the headstock, 13.9 millimeters. And then conveniently, the truss rod access is here at the headstock with your regular 4 millimeter adjustment hex. Now onto the neck, you have a C-shaped maple neck topped with an Indian laurel fingerboard, 9.5 inch radius, definitely comfortable to play. Here are the neck dimensions on this example. Your nut width, 41.7 millimeters. Width at the 12th fret, 51 millimeters. And width at the end of the fingerboard, 55.2 millimeters. Here are the depth dimensions on the neck. The neck is relatively thin and doesn't gain a whole lot of depth as you go up. So at the 1st fret, we have 21.4 millimeters, and depth at the 12th fret, 22.5. Now the scale length on this guitar is your standard Fender 25.5 inch scale. The fingerboard set up with 21 medium jumbo frets, dot inlays. One thing I will say about this guitar, first impressions when I picked it up about a year ago, were dominated by the frets. And why do I say that? Really, what you feel on this guitar are the ends of the frets as you play it. Not so much fret sprout coming out the side of the fingerboard, but more just the fact that the fret ends could be dressed and taken care of a little bit nicer. So that's something that's on my to-do list. The neck is comfortable to play as it is, but you can feel the ends of the frets. So just a little bit of tidying up there will take this neck to the next level, as it were. One thing I will say, as I was going through and setting up the guitar from scratch, getting it to the way I like it, up to a decent standard. I checked all of the frets up and down the fingerboard with a fret rocker just to check for anything high, anything out of whack. And the one thing I will say, once set up, there's just a couple of places where it rocks just a tiny bit. And to me, that's not enough to go and say, okay, this needs to be leveled out and crowned. Even the ones that are like that, not a big deal. So I'll say the fretwork, other than the ends, as far as leveling and things like that, pretty nice on a guitar in this price. So now to the reason again why I picked this guitar up, solely for that red sparkle finish. It's over top of a basswood body. This example, 8 pounds, 1.5 ounces. Thickness of the body, 41 millimeters. Now it is a string through body, which is a nice touch on this Telecaster. And of course this is a thick gloss finish, so you understand what you're getting into, but this is definitely not going to be wearing out anytime soon. The guitar also has a 3-ply white pickguard with 8 holes. That's certainly good to know if you plan on swapping it out. It's also nice to see the routing underneath the pickguard. Good to see it. Also keep it in mind if you're ever interested in swapping pickups or changing any of the electronics in the guitar. It's nice to see what options you have available without routing anything else out in the body. The bridge hardware on this guitar, nothing amazing, but does the job. As I always say with guitars in this price, you can spend the same amount of money that you paid for this guitar, if not more, buying an individual bridge, depending on who you get it from, right? So you're dealing with a 6-saddle bridge on this guitar, perfectly acceptable to set the guitar up, hold your action and intonation just fine. Can it be changed? Yes, but you do have to note the mounting. This is one of the Squier bridges with the 3 screws in the back, 2 screws in the front, so not anything is just going to drop in as a replacement. Let's briefly talk electronics. The guitar has a set of standard Telecaster single coil pickups. You have a 3-way toggle for pickup selection, and then a set of 250K alpha pots. Here are the pickup readings just for the fun of it. Neck pickup 4.23K, bridge pickup 3.76, and then finally both of them together, just to be interesting, 2.01. Now, in listening to the guitar, what's your impression of these pickups and electronics? Are they acceptable? What do they sound like? Just for reference, pickup height is set to Fender's specs. That way we can kind of have a ballpark as far as where these are at. Any of the tone tests that you're seeing in this video, the guitar is going straight into Fender Princeton reverb, and then into Universal Audio aux box, and then onto the audio interface. Nothing in front of the amp, just straight into the amp for the clean tones, and then for also some of the crunch. Really, it's just turning up the volume on the amp. So there you have it. This is, again, Squier's limited edition Bullet Telecaster in Red Sparkle. From what I've seen, these guitars also come in Lake Placid Blue. They're regularly priced $199 US, but sometimes you can find them on sale for about $70 less than that. To me, it is a cool guitar, pretty solid for the way it's set up, and it's going to be even better if you take the time to set it up yourself. The only downsides, again, those rough fret ends, something that we can fix, and the electronics, again, something that I can fix. But the one thing that I can't do is finish a guitar like this from scratch and make it look like this. So to me, that's a great trade-off. Get a nice looking guitar and then put a little work in to get it cleaned up and playing to 100% the way that you like it. Now onto the plans for this guitar. Like I mentioned before, I already have a set of pickups to throw in here, and I'm going to set it up with some electronics from a previous Telecaster, new switch, new pots. So we're going to take a look at that and compare the stock to the swapped out parts in a coming video. But now, beyond those electronics changes, I'm open to your suggestions. What else do you think should be done to this guitar, if anything? After that, should I just leave it as it is? Maybe you wait to see until you hear that video, but would there be any other ideas that you have to change on this guitar, looking at it the way you see it now? If you have a suggestion, leave it in the comments section down below. We'll look forward to seeing those. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button down below the video. You can check out the links as well in the description. And if you've been following some of my recent instrumental arrangements and tab videos, you'll be happy to know that the backing track album for those is almost finished. Like I said, I've been a little delayed this summer, but I'm happy to be back with you. And thanks to everybody who has expressed interest in those backing tracks so far. If you're interested in checking them out, you can see the link in the description box below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.